What's the biggest misconception you think people have about your lifestyle? Oh my gosh, I remember I don't have a degree and I'm like, huh? I'm sober. Bro, I really want to write a book. I've been waking up at 4 a.m. every day for the past week. And if I took every deal that came in, oh my God, I'd be rich. I'm single. I'm so single. Come find me. How do you face the fear of the unknown in your travels? Woo, this is the bane of my existence. As a travel content creator, I get a lot of questions about my lifestyle, my choices, and just how I make this whole thing happen. So finally, I'm going to be answering all of your questions. To reintroduce myself, hi, my name is Dominique. I've been traveling the world for like three and a bit years, and pretty much all of that has been by myself, just rocking up to countries and making it work. So I'm finally going to talk about how I sustain my lifestyle, how I've grown an online following of over 600 and something thousand people across the platforms. And I'm just going to spill the beans because you guys deserve to know, because I don't do it very often, not because I'm trying to withhold information, but because it takes a lot of effort. And also I get scared of videos being too long, but here on YouTube, that's not a problem. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into the questions. You guys sent me them on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and I'm going to get through as many as I can while my camera has charge. Also, sorry if I sound a bit stuffy. I have just got down from Mount Kilimanjaro. My nose is still blocked, my chest is still a little bit wheezy, and I'm still on the mend, but while I'm in the house, I thought, let me sit down and do this video. Welcome to the highly requested Q&A. It is happening. So the first question is from TikTok. You're a real inspiration. I hope you feel better soon. Thank you. For the Q&A, I was wondering how you made the final decision to drop out of university. So I guess we're starting right at the beginning. Honestly, it feels like just yesterday I was dropping out of university, but at the same time, it feels lifetimes ago. I have always been a really academic person. Like, I was always one of the cleverest in my class. I was always getting top results, A stars, and science was my thing. And I don't know about any other overachieving children, but when you have that status of just being clever, like, you kind of just think, okay, what is the next cleverest thing I could do? And for me, I was like, okay, I need to be doing some sort of medical course. I'm going to apply to vet school. So I applied to vet school. I love animals. I've worked with animals since I was 15. My Irish family are farmers. Like, it is in my blood to love animals, and I really love them down to the core. So I applied to 4 vet schools because that's what you can do in the UK. I got into all of them and I accepted my offer at Bristol Vet School. I took a gap year before going to university because my mental health was in the dumps. And I'm not just talking like COVID. I was seriously down. I had really bad anxiety and I was in therapy to try and work through that, but I was not ready for university. So I'm so glad I had a year out. But during this year, I already knew I did not want to go to university anymore. I did not want to be a vet, but I couldn't think of what else I wanted to do. And you should not just go to university for the sake of going to university. Like, I know some people are like, oh, I don't really know, I'm just going to do business or economics. No shame to those really good courses, but you shouldn't just go for the sake of it. And it wasn't like I was not going to go to university. Like, I was too scared to do that as well. My whole life, like I said, had been academics. So it was really weird to just be like, oh, let me not go to university. Like, in my eyes at that point, that was instant failure. So I was like, I'm going to go anyway, even though I don't want to be a vet anymore. And I'm just not going to tell anyone. So I got to vet school. Oh my gosh, freshers week, had so much fun. I was having fun going to lectures. It felt like I was in a little film. I was making friends, going to parties. And yeah, I was just going through the motions, but I was like, damn, this is going to be a long 5 to 6 years for me to not be a vet at the end. Like, I'm going to get this degree and then I'm not going to be a vet. I already knew I was not going to put this degree to use. So I was like, I should probably do something about it. And then just before Christmas, my granddad passed away, my Irish granddad. And then I really was just deep in life and the importance of appreciating life while you have it. And I was like, I cannot be doing this course I don't want to do. 5 years is a long time, 6 years is a long time. And for me to turn around at the end of it, I'm still going to be embarrassed at the end. Like, I'm just going to be prolonging the embarrassment to let me get out of here. So I made the decision to drop out. I literally just spoke to myself about it. Like, I did not ask for the help or advice of anyone because this was my decision and I know what I've been thinking and feeling for months and months. So I made the decision to drop out. I sent the email saying I was dropping out, all of that jazz. And then after that, I went home and I told my parents. I've come from a family where we always have a plan. You always have goals. You know your next step. So I went and told them I was dropping out, but I also had something prepared for after that point. While I was still in uni, I was like, I need to get my next thing lined up. So I started doing marketing. I taught myself everything I needed to know about marketing and digital marketing. And I started getting clients and had a plan. I was going to work for myself. I was going to be a girl boss in marketing. So when I told my parents, they took it really well, to my knowledge. I don't know what was said when I wasn't in the room. The next week went by and they picked me up from university. I hadn't even told people at university. I literally said to my friends, by the way, I'm dropping out. Like, do you want to come around to my flat for like a goodbye moment in my flat? And then I'm going to be gone like tomorrow. They were like, what? And that was it. I quit. I left Bristol University, left university life behind. I was no longer a student. I'm now a working woman and I have no degree, which as an overachieving child is the worst thing that could possibly happen. What do you mean? I'm a clever person and I don't have a degree and I'm not in university, so I won't be getting one. Like, that was a hard thing to come to terms with. Even now, I remember I don't have a degree and I'm like, huh? Like, sometimes I just think I have one because obviously I have a degree, but I don't. So I have to remember that sometimes. So to answer the question of how did I make the final decision, it had been going over in my mind for a very long time. So if you feel that way, then yeah, drop out. But I don't advise just dropping out because you don't like the course. Keep pushing through. But for me to do like a 5 to 6 year medical course to become a surgeon, which is a lot harder than most degrees, that it was just not worth it. Let's say I was doing business, I probably would have just stuck it out. It's only 3 years. So stay in school if you can. There's also a question here that's asking, would you ever go back into education, for example, get a degree? Yeah, I would definitely do that. Like I said, education was my life and I really enjoyed it. So let's say I go into a job and they need this qualification. That's when I'd start to consider going back and getting a degree. But for now, I'm just learning through self-education in all kinds of fields. And also the world is just the perfect classroom in general, like the global classroom. I learn something new every single day that I'm in a different culture, and school could have never taught me that. Another question in, I've been made redundant. I want to travel for a while, but any tips on how to stretch my finances? Honestly, there's 2 sides to stretching your finances. One is while you're at home before you travel, and the second is while you're traveling. To address the first, you need to minimalize your life costs as much as possible. If you go and get a coffee once a day, buy the ingredients, make your own coffee at home, cut that cost out. If you get your nails done, buy a gel kit, cut that cost. I've been doing my own nails. Please don't look at these nails. These are really bad. These are from before Kilimanjaro. But I've been doing my own gel nails since I was 12. Register that. Think how much money I have saved on getting my nails done every 6 weeks. I only get them done in a different country if it's super affordable, like Thailand, where I'm going to pay £6 to £9. So that's one portion. Cut your costs down. Cancel that Netflix subscription. Just watch YouTube or log into your friends. Cancel your gym membership. Go for runs. Like, do everything you can to make your life cheaper. Shop at Lidl, do what you need to do. On the other hand, while you're traveling, tip number 1, you need to stay in hostels. You cannot be staying in any other accommodation if you want a cheap lifestyle. Stay in hostels. Number 2, even consider volunteering or work exchanging. Back in my day, I've done my fair share of hostel volunteering and work exchanges, and they've been so good because you get free accommodation and often you get free meals as well. For example, a couple of years ago, I was living and working on a catamaran boat in the south of Portugal in the peak of summer. It was literally the Mediterranean dream. I learned how to sail. I was there doing ropes and knots and sails and pulling all sorts of things, and that was all for free. And I had 3 meals a day included. I was sleeping on a boat. I was waking up to the ocean, and I found that opportunity on a work exchange site called World Packers. This is not a sponsored video. However, I do actually have a code. Now, I don't even talk about World Packers too often because I don't use it anymore because I have the finances to support my travels now. Whereas back in the day, this was my lifeline. I've actually got a discount code. It's Dominique Travels, where you can get a lot of money off your membership and get signed up to World Packers. I think it's like $20 a month or something like that. And you can have free accommodation, free meals, and travel the world. I've literally done it. I can say it's good, so you can trust me on that one. But if you don't want to use World Packers and you're looking for a completely free way to do these things, then you can also just email or Instagram DM different hostels and see if they have jobs available. The next question is, what editing apps do you use for your content and how do you film your content? So right now I'm filming on a little action camera. But basically every single thing you see on my Instagram or TikTok is filmed on this iPhone. This is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And before that, I would film on my old phone, which is an iPhone 14. And the quality is exactly the same. 4K is 4K. Like, you don't necessarily need the new phone. Just get something that can film in 4K. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's a Samsung. People want to get all the equipment before they start creating, but the point is you need to create and have a love for creating, and then the equipment will follow. Like, prove to yourself that you're going to keep up with making videos, you're going to keep up with editing and posting before you invest in a camera or lighting or whatever. I literally don't even have a tripod right now. I'm balancing the camera on my drums. So that just goes to show, even at this point, I don't have all the equipment. Okay, next question is, how do you face the fear of the unknown in your travels, and any places that you'd not recommend for solo female travelers? How I face my fears is quite ridiculous. The method is a bit dumb, and that is just swap fear for excitement. You are only scared of things that haven't happened yet. You have decided that that is a scary thought. Anyone can think themselves up into a fear of anything. I could think that this roof is going to fall down on me and get crazy anxiety about it, or I could just not think that. It's some really bad advice, but I just think don't think about the worst case scenario 24/7. Of course, be aware and have a think about what bad things can happen, but don't let them consume your mind. Turn all your fear into excitement. Think about the fact that when you land, you don't know this country, you don't know the city, the streets. Flip that into excitement. Oh my gosh, I have so much to discover. I can't wait to see what this town has to offer. I can't wait to try the foods. I can't wait to meet the local people and learn the language. It really is a mindset that you need to switch, especially as someone that, like I said before, had really bad anxiety. I couldn't even say like something at a restaurant because I was freaking out so much. So to go from that to just traveling the world by myself, trust me when I say the mindset shift has a lot to do with it. But also be aware of dangers, be aware of your own limits, be aware of your surroundings, and you should be fine. I think I'll make a whole other video on specific safety tips, but just to generally answer your question, you better flip that switch, baby. Now on to places that I wouldn't recommend for solo female travelers. Honestly, there is nothing that I could say to you right now because I have heard horror stories from girls from every country in the world. And actually, my most negative experiences that have ever happened to me have all been right here in the UK. So I can't really speak badly on any country. I've had bad experiences here and there, but that hasn't been the country's fault. It's been individual people's fault, mostly men, or pretty much I can't even think of a time when it was a woman. I'm not saying all men are bad, but what I do recognize is that they don't represent all the men from that country, and I think that's really important to remember. When people just categorize a whole country together, that doesn't work and it's not true. I can tell though that this information is really annoying and useless to you as a first-time solo traveler. So what I would say is for your first trip, if you are of a more timid nature or you're just not out there and confident like me, then I would avoid hustle and bustle places. Like for example, Morocco, where you're going to be in the souks and the markets and people just come up to you and sell. Also a lot of places in sub-Saharan Africa where people are just selling at you all the time. Places like Colombia where the personality is really vibrant and very confident and people just talk to you because they're so friendly, but you might see that as a danger at the time. So if you have a more timid personality, I would avoid these countries where people are just like really open and in your face because you might just panic in that moment. However, these are the countries that I love the most. So your perspective will shift over time. Everywhere in the world, every single person is going to have a different experience, and the way that you view life and your perspective on life is going to completely change your experience as well. I can say some places that I do recommend for a first-time solo traveler or for female solo travelers in general. My number one will always be Thailand. Go to Thailand. If you haven't been before, go there first. So Thailand is my number one. Vietnam is a great place to follow on with. As for Europe, I recommend Albania every single day. Even the south of Portugal, really beautiful, really friendly. And to stay safe, as usual, I say stay in hostels. You are surrounded by like-minded people your age, people who are also alone. You look out for each other. Whereas in a hotel, no one knows if you've got back at night or not. Do you have an apartment or do your parents keep a room for you at home? I'm so lucky in the fact that my family is big. We are 6 people and then like everyone's got like partners and babies and stuff. So my mom and dad's house where the family grew up is big. We don't have 6 bedrooms, we have 4 bedrooms, but now everyone's flown the nest and moved out. So I do come back to I wouldn't even say childhood room, my teenager room. Also, my sister always lets me stay around at her house, which is in London, which is so nice. So I'm happy to be anywhere, to be honest. But no, I don't pay rent. I did a period where I was living in Bristol and I travelled so much that I was literally just losing basically £1,000 out of my bank every month. And it was disgusting to see. So I moved my stuff back to my family house and was like, yeah, we are not renting. Okay. How do you deal with constant flights, bus rides, train rides, especially while solo traveling? Woo, this is the bane of my existence. My body must be so messed up from all the time zone switching all the time. However, luckily, it is not as severe as most people because this girl can sleep anywhere. I could sleep sat here, sat up like this. I could just go to sleep right now for like 2 hours. I can literally sleep in any position, anywhere, with any noise level, any motions going on. It's like ASMR, I go straight to sleep. Switching time zones is really annoying, but when I remember how thankful and grateful I am to have traveled in the first place, I try not to think about the jet lag and physical toll it's took on my body. For example, right now I'm so jet lagged from Tanzania and Kilimanjaro. I've been waking up at 4 a.m. every day for the past week, but I'm just like, oh, I can't believe I was in Tanzania, like that's so great. And I just keep pushing. I think the first day you land in a new country, it's okay to be lazy, just be lazy for that day. So give yourself some grace on travel days, fuel your body, drink a lot, and when you get to your destination, take it easy and start the next day fresh. How do you fund your travels? I want to travel more. So to give you the whole picture, I am a full-time content creator. All my money comes from the online world, not from one place though. I don't get the majority of my money from Instagram. They don't even pay. Or TikTok or Facebook or YouTube. Like I make no money on YouTube. It comes from growing my platforms and then doing brand deals. I also do group trips where I earn a commission, and I have some affiliate codes where I earn a bit of commission. But really my vision was to just make enough money so that I can travel the world and have no major financial worries, and I'm definitely at that point. The best way for me to get paid in this job is through doing paid ads. But because I'm aware of the influence I have and how much I owe to you guys for watching me in the first place, I never want to sell you something that I don't believe in. I never want to talk about a product that I don't believe in or a service or anything. So when I get brand deals in, I probably say yes to 1 in every 25 or 30 deals. And if I took every deal that came in, oh my God, I'd be rich. I could literally do £1,000 a month giveaway and just give it to you guys. But that doesn't sit right with my morals in terms of promoting items that I do not use or that I don't think are ethical, or there's a whole bunch of reasons. So for now, I do very rare ads. In fact, I haven't posted an ad in maybe 2 months, maybe more. I just manage the money that I do have in order to stay authentic and to build my platform morally. If the offers that came in were products that I actually use, I would do loads of ads, but it's already limited amount of brands that I can work with anyway. I don't really buy new clothes, like these are my sister's trousers, and this is around 4 years ago from H&M. I thrift a lot. I take a lot of hand-me-downs because my sister was a fashion designer. So in terms of products, there's nothing that I'm really consuming on the daily other than like tech. You guys don't want to hear about tech. So yeah, that's my financial situation for anyone wondering. What's your favorite country in Europe? You guys know this already. If you don't know this, then do you even follow me? My favorite place in Europe is Albania. I go there year after year after year, multiple times a year. And it honestly feels like a second home to me at this point. Shout out to Skodra Hostel, which is the only place you should be staying in the north of Albania. That is my second home, and I'm going back in the summer, so see you there. Okay, this is a really good one. How do you judge while solo hitchhiking if the person is trustworthy to avoid creepy situations? Now this, I'm going to say a disclaimer. Do not take my advice face value. This is so subjective. This is so personal. So you cannot take my advice. And if you follow my advice and something happens, I'm not taking responsibility. However, I'll tell you my process, which is the vibe and my intuition. If I'm there, someone pulls over, immediately I have a feeling. When they're talking to me, their eye contact, the way they're looking at me, I'll have a look in like the car a little bit. Read the situation. If you have any hint of the heebie-jeebies, it's okay, bye. Literally to tell them goodbye. Only accept rides where you feel 100% confident in this person. And even then, when you are in the ride, be cautious all the time. I see hitchhikers that are like taking a nap and all this stuff. I could not. I'm literally sat there ready to open this car door and jump out of a moving vehicle at any moment. Like, you give me one weird look, I'm out of here, like, you best believe. And also I had a rule for like years that was I would only take rides in pickup trucks where I can sit in the back and I can jump out if I need, because I don't need someone locking me in their car. So hitchhiking is a crazy thing to do anyway. So I'd say avoid it, especially if you're female. However, it does make for a great adventure. It does make a great story, but you need to have that trust in your intuition. If you know that you always get things wrong in terms of judging people, don't hitchhike because it's not for you. Someone wants some hair care tips while traveling as a fellow curly hair girl. Honestly, I'm the worst person you could ask. Like, People with curly hair would feel sick to their stomach if they could see what I do with my hair on the road. This is not a good state of my hair. I'll put a picture of what is my amazing hair when I look after it. This right now is giving lifeless, it's giving flat, dry, the ends are splitting. I'm actually going for a haircut in 1 week's time, so I'll film that and you can see that. In terms of products, I haven't found something that is so good that I need to take it with me everywhere. Like, I usually travel hand luggage only, so for me to like decant a product into a smaller bottle and decide to bring it with me, that's a big decision. So what I usually do is I take no products. I land in a new country and I buy a conditioner. This is so embarrassing. And then I wet my hair in the shower, put the conditioner on, brush it. That's it. Yeah, I don't use any curly hair products. I just use conditioner on the road. When I come home, I use a lot of different curl creams or curl milk and gel. On the road, I'm going to be so for real. I don't use any products. I would love some products, but they're just so expensive. And the thought of like just taking away this much with curly hair, it's not really going to do anything anyway. However, a great thing to do is use protective styles like braids and twists. I get my hair braided in different countries. I get my hair braided back home. I braid my own hair, like majority of my styles. That was me. So I recommend if you're going away for like a month or 2 months, you can have one braided hairstyle that whole time. So you may as well just get it done and don't worry about your hair the whole time. Here's a bit of a juicier one. Are you single? And are you currently dating or planning to? I'm single. I'm so single. And I'm not currently dating. I think people assume that dating on the road would be really, really hard. But in reality, I haven't found it that hard. I've had 2 long-term relationships in my life. We're both 2 years each, 2.5 years. In both of them, I was long distance for periods of it. And it wasn't that much of a struggle. Like, not to the point where I'm like, oh, I can't date, or to the point where they're like, they can't date me. No. But I think when I choose who I'm actually with, like, I mean, you are my boyfriend or you are my girlfriend, I'm really picky. Like, I will date, I have a little cute little romance, but for you to be my boyfriend or girlfriend, that is a different category. I am picky when it comes to that. Just in terms of my morals, in terms of how it's going to logistically work, in terms of their morals and their hopes and dreams, I want someone that's ambitious. I want someone that's funny, but also can join all my adventures. I don't want them to follow me around the world. Don't get me wrong there. But you need to like hiking, you need to like surfing or adventure or climbing or dancing. We need to have these things in common. So for now, I haven't found my prince or princess charming yet. However, universe, I'm open to finding them. Please send them my way in 2026. I'd appreciate that. If you think you're the love of my life, feel free to inquire. I do get some people inquiring in the DM, but the way they're going about it just proves that we're not meant to be, because some people will be like, let me take you on a dinner date. Like, when can you do? And I'm like, a dinner date? You clearly don't know me at all. Even people from online should be able to tell that our first date shouldn't be a dinner date. I'm not asking for something expensive. You could have said, let's go for a walk in this park, and I would have been more inclined to do that than a dinner date. So to the people that do actually approach me in my DMs, you guys don't get me. But if the real love of my life is out there, come find me. Say something else. Anything but dinner date. How do you plan trips without over planning? Honestly, it depends on the country. Like, for example, now I don't have any 2026 travel plans. I have like 2 trips planned the whole year. Does that mean I'm not going to travel? No. Does that mean I'm going to plan anything? Also, no. I basically just look at flights, and if I can find a good flight, I'm like, okay, I'll go. And then I figure out the rest from there. The only place where I've had to plan, like my life depended on it, was Japan. Oh my God. That is not for the type B people. That is not a good place to be spontaneous. However, everywhere else, I will literally book a flight and turn up. Maybe I'll figure out the first hostel. Maybe I'll save one TikTok that says like 10 places you should visit in blank. But mostly I just show up. And that is really bad advice. Good advice would be go to my TikTok. Every country that I've visited has its own playlist. You can see everything I did in those countries. Sometimes I've made like a full country itinerary. I've run through safety tips, things to do, what to eat, all this stuff. So if you're looking for a specific country, check if I've been there first, scroll through my TikTok playlist. And if I've been there, then you're going to find some good advice. But other than that, just vibes. I don't know what to tell you. This is a really good question. If a trip would be completely free now, which country would you choose to explore and why? Oh, no budget. I would say something basic, like Canada. Like, everyone wants to go to Canada. The national parks, like that kind of vibe. Wow. I would love to go hiking in Canada for ages. And it is expensive. But if I was to think like adventure wise, I'm gonna say Madagascar. That's been a dream of mine for a very long time. Ever since I saw someone go there, I was like, wait, we can actually go there? The place where King Julian lives? Are you for reals? Yeah, I really want to go there, but I know that it's very hard to travel, hard to get around, and yeah, it's expensive. Do you ever think you could write a book about your travels or a novel? Bro, I really want to write a book. I want to write several books. This has been like on my mind for maybe like a year and a half now. I don't know if you guys realize, but I journal a lot and in immense detail. I can recall everything that's happened to me in the past few years. And if I can't recall it, it's in the book. I'm not joking about the detail. And I've had so many crazy travel experiences, especially ones that I'm scared to tell online because of online judgment or of my dad seeing because he watches my Instagram. There's so many barriers in place. However, a book, I feel like put it out there and people who want to read it can read it. My dad can just suffer. So I'd love to write a book. Maybe there's one coming in 2026, 2027. I would love a book deal, but obviously we have to manifest it over time. So I would love that. Let's put it out into the universe. Again, universe, if you want to bring me a book deal in 2026, I would love that. But you guys need to let me know what kind of book you'd want. Like, would you want it of my stories or would you want it more like tutorial based, like how to travel without a care or how to rock up to a country and have the best experience of your life, like those kind of vibes? Let me know. What's the biggest misconception you think people have about your lifestyle? Oh my gosh, it's that it's daddy's money. As you can see from my background, I'm not in a shabby house at all. This is a really nice house. My parents have done well for themselves. However, that is not my money. And they don't give it to me in a nice allowance every month packaged up saying good luck on your travels. Otherwise, all my siblings and I would be traveling. Everyone has jobs. Everyone works for themselves. I save my butt off for these trips and I budget like crazy on these trips. And I think that's the main misconception. I'm my own sugar daddy, in case you were wondering. Do you drink alcohol? Because I think I remember you saying you don't. I do not drink alcohol. I'm sober. I'm not trying to say being sober is better than drinking because that isn't even the case. Like, I used to drink. I know the fun of drinking. When people are drinking around me, that's fine. Like, I love a party. I love a club. I'm going to go to the club. If you feel like drinking's not your thing or for some reason, like you get nervous about it or you feel really misaligned when you drink or you just feel like it's not for you, that's when I promote sober living. You don't need to drink. I think everyone thinks that you need to drink or they're like, have a drink. And they think, oh gosh, how would I ever say no in that situation? But you can say no. And I do say no. And I've been saying no. I love to dance. I will do so as if nobody's watching. And that takes time to build that confidence. But you do not need to get that confidence from alcohol. And I think not having alcohol as like a crutch has been really good for me and my confidence, especially since I was struggling so badly with anxiety before. This has really helped me work on myself and have these conversations without the crutch of alcohol. And the last question I have here is, do you visit Ireland regularly? I think I heard that you say you have an Irish parent. Good listening. My mom's side is Irish. My dad's side is Jamaican, mom's side is Irish. And my Irish nan actually lives with us here in the UK ever since my granddad passed away. But before that, she lived in Ireland with my granddad, and my whole childhood, we were just back and forth between here and Ireland. And I would say that I was more connected to my Irish heritage growing up compared to my Jamaican heritage because of the close proximity. My family in Ireland have always lived in this really small village. It's called Rare Cross. It's in Tipperary, but just before the border into Limerick. And nobody's ever heard of it when I bring it up to Irish people, especially people from like Dublin. They've never heard of this place. It is a really tiny village. There is literally a church, 2 pubs. One is ours, one is the other family's pub, and what else? Literally, what else? A graveyard? Like, there is nothing there. And that is the rural island I grew up with. I didn't go to Dublin for the first time until literally last year. And it was for one night. Really, I'm not even joking. I have been spending my life in rural Ireland and never going beyond that. So my idea of being Irish and Ireland itself is just farms and cows and sheep and electric fences and cow pats and milking and the pub and Guinness and horse and carriage. And that is literally it. It sounds really like a stereotype of what you think an Irish person would be like back in the day. But literally that is my experience. That is my lived experience. I haven't done the city life. I haven't done clubbing in Ireland. I haven't done any road trips. I haven't seen the cliffs of Moher. I haven't done anything. I've not been to Northern Ireland. I've only been to Rare Cross Tipperary. So if you're ever going through Ireland and you find yourself in Tipperary and you want to stop in at a place that has some significant meaning, then feel free to stop in Rare Cross. My family pub is called The Rising Sun. There's only 2 pubs there. It's the yellow one. And stop in and say that you know Dominique and they're going to treat you really well and they'll buy you a pint of Guinness on me. And yeah, that's all I can really say. I don't visit Ireland as regularly now, especially in the last couple of years because I've been traveling like crazy and pursuing my career. Also, since my granddad died and my nan moved to England, they had to sell that house. So that was my main base for being in Ireland. Like if I was to stay there now, I would stay with cousins and stuff, but I know that I'm completely welcome and I should go. I'm actually planning an Irish road trip for 2026. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to finance that and put it all together. I really want to share a long form video of my love for Ireland while I discover parts outside of my village. So yeah, big up Rare Cross. Love you guys. Love all my cousins and friends out there. And that was the final question. This video is so long. I am so sorry. And if you're still watching at this point, hats off to you because you're a real one. I wouldn't even be watching at this point. And there were still more questions, but I just can't. There's too many. So I'm going to have to make a part 2 a different time. Or if you've got more burning questions, I'll answer them in the comments of this video. Absolutely fine. No worries. In terms of my 2026 plans, I'm going to Brazil next week for 1 month. After that, I have no plans. I'm going to Albania in the summertime and I'm going to Kyrgyzstan in August for my group trip. So if you have any cool ideas for me, put them in the comments. I'm cooking up some ideas, but nothing's concrete. I think it's going to be one of my best years yet, and the fact that I don't know what's going to happen yet makes it even more exciting. Thanks for watching. Sorry again that I've got a cold and a cough and I'm dying over here. Thanks for sticking around despite that. Thank you so much for supporting my journey because I would not have this job if there wasn't viewers. So if it wasn't for you guys, I'd be finished. So let me know if you like these style of videos where I'm talking to camera, and I can definitely do more in-depth videos about questions you have, maybe on safety or how to plan a trip or how to pack. But yeah, now I'm supposed to say all the YouTube stuff. So like this video, leave a comment, please. I'll definitely reply to you if you leave a comment, and subscribe as well to see more videos like this, more travel vlogs, whatever you guys want to see, I'm gonna make it. Big love and Happy New Year, everyone.